Call to order the November 3rd, 2025 meeting of the Brentwood Planning Commission. Let the record show that all 10 planning commissioners are here in attendance. No, I'm sorry.
Rick's not here.
Oh, Commissioner Lundgren is not here, so we have 9 planning commissioners here. Sorry about that. And then we're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Commissioner Stadnick.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started with our formal meeting, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Usually we have a planning commission of a few city staff and maybe 4 or 5 at most people in the audience. So it's good to see some people kind of see what we do. I'm also going to take this opportunity to let City Commissioner Travis kind of give you guys maybe a 1 or 2 minute description of what we actually do and who we actually are. So, Commissioner Travis.
Thank you, Michael. The Planning Commission is in charge of helping make and approve some of the decisions when it comes to planning and codes within the city, okay? The planning commissioners are all appointed by the mayor. Now, the mayor allows some leeway and allows individual commissioners to nominate some people, but it has to be an agreement. So all of us up here represent people on the city commission. There's 10 of us up here. It's a lot of people, but our job is to review the facts and see what goes on and to make sure that our building and our codes are all maintained. If you've ridden through other parts of the city, and I hate to pick on a city, but if you go south, way south, some of the real busy areas in Spring Hill and Thompson Station, you'll see signs all over the place. I mean, signs, we have a sign ordinance. It keeps us neat and orderly, and that's what we try to do. I think I can say this for the Planning Commission, but we really adhere to and stick to our 1 acre zoning. That's something that's very important to the citizens of Brentwood. We've heard over and over again. So we act and we take action. If there's other things that want to be done, you can go to the Board of Zoning Appeals. We had someone who had an old mansion, and there was a couple of old barns that were sitting in the back, and they wanted to maintain those. That doesn't fall underneath the Planning Commission. That falls under the Board of Zoning Appeals. But for us is to look at the rules and regulations, what it says, and then to render our vote according to that. So we're all volunteers up here. We get paid nothing, and it takes up a lot of time, but I think the city of Brentwood is really a much better place because of the work that the Planning Commission does.
Thank you. Also, I'll tell you, the way we work is we have a consent agenda and a regular agenda. The consent goes really quickly. We went through all of these items last Thursday, and so that's why you kind of see us read it as a group. With that being said, we will start our meeting off with the approval and correction of the minutes. Do I have a motion?
So to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Bain, seconded by Commissioner Travis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstain.
We have 3 abstentions, Commissioner Crosley, Commissioner Crowley, and Commissioner Stadnick. The minutes are approved. All right, now we'll go into our consent agenda. And these items will be read and voted on as a group. Consent agenda item number 1, minor site plan addition, patio, Jonathan's, Maryland Commons. Consent item number 2, final plat, park site at Brent Haven, Phase 2, Section 2. Consent item number 3, final plat, park site at Brent Haven, Phase 2, Section 3. Consent item number 4, minor site plan alteration, Blue Pearl Franklin Pet Hospital, Mallory Park, Phase 2, Lot 205. Consent item number 5, minor site plan alteration, monument sign, Tiburon subdivision. Consent item number 6, limited duration event, Santa's Trees, HDL Hill Center. Consent item number 7, revised final plot, Envirotest Systems Corporation, Lot 1. And finally, consent item number 8, revised final plat, Meadow Lake, Lot 149. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Bain.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Crossley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 9-0. All right, I guess nobody.
Mr. Kaplan.
Sir.
I should have said it during my address, but those consent agenda items, we meet on Thursday before this meeting to talk about that. It makes it look like we're just reading this off the piece of paper, but we have about an hour and a half, 2-hour meeting usually on that Thursday to talk about this. So it's all been gone over. So so many young people out there, I don't want you to think that we just read it right here and move on. There's been a lot of discussion on all these items on that Thursday. Sorry, Michael.
Oh, thank you. All right, let's move on to our regular agenda, where we have one item. Hey, Todd, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. All right. Regular item number 1, revised site plan, baseball field lighting, Brentwood Academy. Do we have an applicant? Or does the city want to present first?
Yeah, I'll read the staff report first.
Just check.
Good evening, Commissioners. Reagan Smith Associates request approval of a revised site plan for Brentwood Academy. This proposal is to add lights to the existing baseball field. The lighting design ensures illumination will not exceed 3-foot candles at the property lines. The lights will not be equipped with timers, but will be operated from a secure control cabinet. All fixtures will include shielding to direct the light downwards onto the field. This lighting proposal with a dugout proposal was presented to the Planning Commission at their October 6th meeting. The dugout proposal was approved and this lighting proposal was deferred. It's now before you tonight. Again, we have 12 standard requirements and we are requesting approval subject to the staff notes.
Okay. And, so the order will go in, we'll have an applicant, and then I'll give an opportunity for citizens' comments.
Appreciate it. Brad Slayton with Reagan Smith Associates here to see you tonight. Do you all have the pointer? Was that up there? May use that. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. And we heard you after last month. Thank you for your support last month with the locker room. And certainly here to talk about the lights, acknowledging last month. Your request was to go meet with the neighbors. And so I want to kind of give you a report on that. The River Oaks HOA usually meets at the Brentwood Academy Library. We thought we'd have a good turnout, so we had their meeting rescheduled for the Brentwood Academy Chapel on October 23rd. We hosted the year-end River Oaks HOA meeting, during which we understand about 25 to 30 residents got up for a Q&A session with Dr. Patterson and Athletic Director Jason Matthews, of which time they discussed citizens' concerns along the way. There was a follow-up meeting. A few neighbors wanted to kind of get a little more private with their discussions. And so we honored that with a follow-up meeting on October 30th with Dr. Patterson and a few selective residents, some of which are here tonight, to talk a little bit further for their concerns. And so really wanted to acknowledge that during these meetings, Brentwood Academy listened carefully to everything that was heard to kind of get a better understanding of their perspective. Grateful for those that took place to meet with us at both those meetings and look forward to kind of letting that continue to foster good relationships with the neighborhood. Before I continue, I'd like to acknowledge some special guests. Commissioner Kaplan, thank you for doing that. Tonight we have a lot of representatives from Brentwood Academy here, a middle school and high school team and their parents in the audience. This represents who will benefit from this. This is the group that we continue to want to dedicate ourselves to provide good fields, safe environments, and high quality facilities. Also joining us this evening, welcome Dr. Patterson to the room. Here to answer any questions you might have. Before I continue, I kind of want to dive in. In 1994, this body approved a master plan that located the baseball field to where you see it built today. During which that time, there was about 17 or so items brought to the table as part of that master plan. without reading them specifically, some were about PA systems, some of them were about landscaping, some of them were about the locations of batting cages, some of them identified where the scoreboard needed to be located, and some of them begun to identify that only school-sponsored events would be there. Certainly at that time, baseball lights were not on the table, and so there was no lights approved. We come back to you tonight to request lights to be approved for the baseball stadium. We request code-compliant lights to be approved for the baseball stadium. We worked closely with the code to minimize that impact. The fixtures are shielded, directed downwards to kind of light the field directly. Allison, could you go to the page with the foot candles? There was some discussion Thursday morning of kind of what is this, right? And so if I could spend a minute to talk through this, which is a photometric plan. There is a grid, no doubt, that runs all the way around, simple, big old square. If you were to zoom in real tight, majority of those numbers say 0.0, like not affected by the lights. And that's why you see there's the big box. This over here is a bunch of 0.0s when you kind of get out to the perimeter of this stuff. But what it does is it begins to identify the amount of light that hits the ground. City code requires 3-foot candles, right? What I can tell you with our plan here is if measured about, do you have the other one that zooms back out, Allison? I can get the whole field. Right, there you go. From about right here, from this property line down to here and down to here, represents, let's see, it's about 875 linear foot of property line that's kind of in play here. From this moment right here, and a point of clarity, last month there was a comment about moonlight. I've got the answer for you. Moonlight on the ground is 0.1 foot candles. So just get perspective there. City code is 3, moonlight is 0.1. I can tell you that what you see right here is 100% moonlight level, 0.1 or less along the common property line with the neighbors here.
And it doesn't take into consideration the trees.
Without consideration that there's tree canopy there. Just take that off the table, right? If there was no tree canopy there is. 0.1 or less along this side. We do peak at 1.9, still compliant, right about here, and run back out. The numbers suggest 63% of our perimeter of that distance is moonlight or less. 89% is less than 1, with the only portion right here being maxing at 1.9. Again, city code is 3. So fully compliant plan. Our goal here is simple: provide a safe, well-lit environment for our students to practice and compete without having to leave class early and finish in unsafe conditions. We believe this proposal strikes a balance between what students need and respecting our neighbors due to full compliance with the ordinance. On behalf of Brentwood Academy tonight, we ask for your approval on a completely code-compliant plan, and here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll take questions from the commissioners, and then we'll give the citizens a chance to comment.
If I can make one comment.
Sir.
You're probably asking why we show up 31 years later and ask for lights. As you can see, this represents about 1/3 of the baseball players at Brentwood Academy. During the season, we have about 2 hours of practice time when they get out of school and when it gets dark. The middle school really only has about 45 minutes that they can practice before the upper school, the varsity, takes the field. The lights allow us to let the kids practice more. That's it. That's the main objective. It's not to have more games. It's not to create leagues. It's to let these kids get more practice in to an already short winter, spring day. And I think it's important to note that because we have gone on 31 years without it, but the school has grown, a middle school was introduced, we're trying to build the program, and now you see the kind of, I think, interest these guys have in playing the sport. Thank you.
Okay. Start with Commissioner Stadnick. Any questions? Tucci?
What is your schedule as far as the lights being on? Is there going to be a specific time, like in the summer months, you're going to shut them off at 8, 9, or you're going to go all the way to 10 o'clock? Do you have that established yet?
We talked to Dr. Patterson about this, and we have no problem at all during the season, which is, for the most part, February, March, April, and not starting an inning of a real game before 9 o'clock. So in essence, I would say that 99% of the time, I would never see a reason why those lights are on past 9 o'clock.
Now, and that was shared with the residents at your previous
sir.
meeting? Okay.
Yes, sir.
We did not get a
All right,
direct
well,
answer.
please, no comments from the audience.
And I don't know if this is appropriate who to ask, but I'll ask you and we can get the other side as well or whatever. In the meeting, were y'all able to talk some just about the berm buffer, keeping that up, whose responsibility that is, what the school's expectations were, what their expectations were? Is that a,
I was
Fair way
not
to
a
ask
part of
that.
that meeting.
oh, okay.
Dr. Patterson was.
So I was part of the meeting that I had with the HOA, and I stood before the HOA for approximately 45 minutes answering whatever questions they had about the lights and all the things that go with the lights. And I got my assistant AD here, Chad is here tonight to answer your questions as well. To go what Mr. Coda says, there's going to be some exceptions to the rule if we have games that go extra innings. You understand that we would shut a game off. World Series game went to 18 innings. We'll continue to play baseball after 9 o'clock, sir, if the game goes late. But we're committed to starting our games at 6 p.m. as opposed to most teams who start their games at 7 p.m. So the lights go off sooner and the sound goes off sooner as well. As far as the berm goes, they mentioned this to me. It's not something I know about, and we feel it has nothing to do with the lights. So we don't have any plans to do anything with the berm or trees or anything like that.
I'm sorry, the last thing, you don't have plans on?
We have no plans on anything with the berm or the trees that go around. That has nothing to do with the lights. So,
If I can add something to
Please.
that. I think this would be a great question if you guys really want to dig in on this for your city engineer. I've been doing development work in Brentwood for 40 years. No one requires buffering and detention pond and landscaping better than you guys do. And as you know, you don't allow for any landscaping to go in the bottom of those detention basins. The engineers have been out there and looked at it, and when you see the pictures, this would be a picture of a berm that you guys would hand to every developer in town and say, we want it to look like that. Because there's mature trees, there are new trees, there is riprapping, there's existing grass. It looks great, and I'd like for the engineer to speak to that.
Comments on that?
Yes, sir. First of all, I'd like to say, don't try to drag us into a lighting question. I say that jokingly, and I hope you guys can take it as a joke. But honestly speaking, as the chairman has mentioned several times, the question before you tonight would be lighting. Any comment that I could make about the berm on the detention pond would just be ancillary to the conversation. Our engineers have been out to see the berm. I have not put eyes on it. Jason did. It's a nice looking berm, I suppose. That's about all I can say. So any other questions related to engineering regarding this site, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you. Commissioner Rand.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a question or more of a comment, but there, I think as you noted, 17 conditions that the commission put on this plan in 1994, and so now there's the request to change one. I guess I find it hard to sort of put myself back in 1994 and know how all those conditions hung together, and so that's sort of the problem I'm frankly having, trying to figure out. There's discussion in here about providing sufficient tree to sort of block probably both light and sound and other things. So there's just a lot of things covered here, and now one thing's being asked to be changed, and I'm not sure that I've heard sufficient.
We're gonna get an opportunity to talk about the vote once we have a motion. So we're just currently asking questions to the applicant.
Okay, I'm making a comment.
Oh, good. Commissioner Crosley.
Well, I just had a comment, and that is, over the years as a planning commissioner, I've seen a lot of lighting plans, and this one is very clearly one of the best. I mean, it doesn't shed any light where it shouldn't, and I appreciate that from you guys.
Commissioner Bain? No questions. Commissioner Crossley? And Crowley, sorry, and Commissioner Thomas.
I do have one more question. Since 1994, have there been any other master plans submitted to the city? You know how many? There's been several. I mean, I'm just saying, I remember just a few years ago, we had another master plan for the city, and that involved the chapel and the realignment of the streets and this, that, and the other. So I'm just saying that because master plans evolve. And so there's been several other iterations since 1994 that also impact some of this decision that we're having here. And that's part of what we're sitting up here trying to figure out. And I just want to make it clear. And I haven't seen the 1994 plan. I know we're going to have an opportunity pretty soon, but there's some other iterations of that maybe we also have to be cognizant of.
Okay. I have no questions. So now we'll get into citizens' comments. Please make sure all comments have to do with lighting and you address the board as a whole. So we'll start off with Kathy Wallace. Oh, thank you.
I don't exactly know how to stand here and completely just address lighting because the lighting is a part of a big picture. And I guess it's good. There are maybe three new commissioners here that didn't hear me speak before. But we're Trent and Kathy Wallace. We live at Center Field, basically. We're the second house on the left on Greenleaf Court. We bought our house in '92 when there was a field and a smaller school behind us. So really and truly, the school was not of an impact on Greenleaf Court or Highlee. And so it was a great place to live. It's been a great place to live. And so what I'd like to say is Trent and I were a part of the '94 discussions. The school invited us over to talk. The original plan for the baseball field was not where it currently is exactly right now. And after talking with them, they relocated home plate to where it currently is. And so they involved us in the conversation. And so it became better. In terms of where it is for the teams and the dugouts, and better for us too. Even though we still get balls in our backyard, that's amazing that they can hit it that far. But anyway, and so it was approved by the commission. But the commission also said it was the field and the impact on the neighborhood. And that is why they put those 17 stipulations in, some of which are just engineering kind of stipulations. And the ones that really affected us on Greenleaf Court and Highlee are they said no lights, number 5. Number 6, they put the gate on Highlee so that gate is supposed to stay closed. It's primarily there as an emergency if you have to have it so that it keeps cars off of Highlee and out of the neighborhood. Number 7, that's when they put the no parking signs along Highlee to keep people from parking there for ball games so that we can get emergency equipment or whatever we need to down Highlee. It said no permanent address system for the baseball field. That was addressing the noise. It said number 10 is trees on the southern end of the property. That's to provide a screen for us in the neighborhood, of which it is very thin at one house now. And then number 17, it said only school-sponsored events will be allowed on the baseball field. That was to protect the neighborhood from having just anybody use the field, anybody rent the field out, whatever would come along that was just more and more impact on our neighborhood. So the commissioners voted on the field and the protection of the neighborhood. from the noise and the activities that would ensue from now having a baseball field that was placed right into the neighborhood. The school has not adhered to many of those over the years. Baseball games are going on all the time now. Baseball games are loud. It's not like a soccer game that doesn't have PA system and loud fans and metal bats. And I like baseball, but baseball games are loud. Now they have artificial turf. They used to not have fall games all the time. Now you can have fall games. They have summer games. There's a lot of baseball that happens. We did get a letter in August from Jason Matthews, and the letter stated, and I quote, "We're exploring the possibility of installing lighting at our baseball field." We had no idea that that was an imminent thing that they were trying to do. I called him and I spoke to him about the lights. I mentioned our concern about the usage of the field, which you can see from those minutes. We talked about, I'm pretty consistent. I'm mentioned in the minutes that says Kathy Wallace is concerned about the usage of the field. And I told him then about the Planning Commission, that no lights had been stated in that. I invited him to come over sometime and come talk to the neighbors, invite us over to the school to talk about it like we did in '94. And I didn't hear anything because I didn't know that this was something that was coming up as quick as it was. And I never heard from Brentwood Academy until I got an email from somebody that says they're bringing it to the October Planning Commission. If I hadn't gotten that email, we wouldn't have been able to give you our input. And so here we are tonight on that. I said the school has not reached out to us personally except by a letter in our mailbox. For those of us that are most affected, which is Highley and Greenleaf Court primarily. Before the annual homeowners meeting last week, Bruce Williams and I requested a meeting to talk to the headmaster and others about what was going on, because we felt like it was a private discussion that we needed to say to them privately, these are what our concerns are, not in front of the whole River Oaks homeowners meeting. We were not able to have that meeting with him prior to the homeowners meeting. And so we did hear at the homeowners meeting from Dr. Patterson that he said, yes, we're going to play games from 6 to 9 o'clock at night. And you know how that can go. That can run over. That could be 10 o'clock. It could be a rain out and whatever. I mean, baseball is baseball. So that is very concerning to us. So we've been very disappointed. Personally, we kind of compare '94 to today, the way the school has tried to bring this to the Planning Commission without letting us know as the citizens and the homeowners of the neighborhood, that's been disappointing. So in summary, for our standpoint, the 1994 Commission did not just vote on the field location, but also on the impact to River Oaks neighborhood by relocating the field along Highley and Greenleaf Court. They included these stipulations for relocating the field, which had been forgotten and neglected with time. So therefore, we are asking as homeowners that this commission, the 2025 commission, uphold the promise that 94 commission gave us to protect our neighborhood with these stipulations and to reintroduce them so that everybody will now know, not from a piece of paper that I happen to keep all these years, but now it'll be on a digital record that this was part of what 94 did. We get Friday night fun and all that, but every night of the week is really detrimental to our neighborhood and to the citizens of Brentwood that live in our neighborhood. So, thank you.
And Trent Wallace?
Michael, do I get a chance to respond to that?
No.
First of all, being involved in this process, I realize the time and effort that a lot of people put in to make our community as good as it is. And I want to say thank you. And I'm glad these young people are here to just see this work out and see how you guys and the gals have really made an impact on Brentwood. I'm coming. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
so,
sorry. They were the meetings.
Number two, I won't reiterate what Kathy said. There's been big improvements on the baseball field since the '94 meeting. You have artificial surface, new scoreboard, new dugouts, new stands, new batting cage. And it's really become a really wonderful facility. Now, they didn't show where the lights would be. I think they said there'll be 4, and they can talk about that later, but we're at center field, as was discussed. Now, to go over things, the neighborhood impact has not really changed. There's still homes on 2 sides of the baseball field. Is there a precedent? Well, there are parks in Williamson County that are not lit that when those soccer fields are adjacent to neighborhoods, and that has been told to me by others. What about the baseball players? I mean, are we limiting their ability to have a good team, to practice, and to play? Well, daylight savings time is March 3rd. After March 3rd, it will be sunlight till 7 o'clock at night for the rest of the spring. And they're out of school at 2:30. That's a lot of time for baseball. Now, there are other alternatives which haven't been discussed, and it's not up to me, but an indoor batting cage can be run 10 hours a day for 365 days of the year. It doesn't affect anybody. So there are alternatives to lights on the field. Now, finally, why would we be so opposed to a field to the lights on the field? And there were 4 reasons that I had. Number 1 has been pretty well discussed, but it is the impact of the field, the usage, sound, noise, and people on a much greater basis on the surrounding homes in the neighborhood, and the potential for non-school activities. Number 2, it's a precedent for use of other areas in BA. Number 3, it probably does affect the property values adversely around that baseball field to some degree. And number 4, it's from a homeowner that's near BA. We can't police BA. If the lights are approved, we're really at the discretion of the school as to how they're used. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Are there any other citizens that would like to comment? Please state your name and your address, please.
Bruce Williams, 6006 Greenleaf Court. I live at the bottom of the cul-de-sac. And when I got home tonight, there were lights shining on me from the bottom parking lot due to lack of vegetation. When I drove to work this morning, the back gate on High Lee was open, supposed to be closed. There are routinely cars that park along High Lee in football games and baseball games. So that's not primary to the lights, but that's ancillary. I mean, it comes with it. So 2 weeks after the Planning Commission, I called BA and requested a meeting. I followed up on that the next week, and was granted that to meet with Athletic Director and Dr. Patterson last Thursday. Kent Meeks and I did that. I'm grateful for their time. Thank you for setting aside a good bit of time for us. We didn't agree on a lot of these issues, but I didn't necessarily expect that we would. We don't want lights. They want lights, all right? So we got a problem, and I thank you for your willingness to address it. I speak in opposition tonight because if lights are installed on the field, I think it's likely that they'll be on all 4 seasons during the year at some point, and maybe multiple nights a week. And so we're not talking about just a February, March, April, May thing here. That's where our culture is. We want practices all the time. And so you're looking at a bedroom and a back porch that are 40 yards away from center field. And so the primary issue to me is not necessarily how far the lights go. And I appreciate your comments about that, and that was good. But it's about all that goes with it. It's the noise, it's the traffic, it's the intrusion. And as also, as Trent mentioned, I do believe that there are 3 to 6 homes on Greenleaf Court and on High Lee that will have a negative economic consequence in terms of their resale value if the lights are approved and there's regular use of that. So thank you for your consideration. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Are there any other citizens that would like to comment? Okay, seeing as there's none, do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Move from Commissioner Crossley. Do I have a second? We have to have a motion to have discussion, folks. Can I have a
I'll
second?
second.
Seconded by Commissioner Vitucci. We'll start down here with Commissioner Travis.
Thank you. This is truly a cut the baby in half situation. And some people are going to go home happy. Some people are going to go home sad. I guess I go back and I've talked to our city attorney, and I didn't tell her, but because I thought about it later on about the updated master plans. And from my recollection, I do not have the last master plan that was available, but I don't think it included anything that said no lights. I think it showed the baseball field, it showed the chapel, it showed the new road, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a bit of an evolving situation. And that's what's in my mind. And I know this is very hard, but it's a school. And I just think, too, in this discussion, it's really hard to separate lights and sound and action, But we're told from the Planning Commission, our directive is we're considering lights only here. And if you listen to the codes and you listen to what they say, that's what we have to pay the most attention to right now. So it's a very hard decision. We got to think about it, and I'll listen to more comments on that.
I echo Commissioner Travis's sentiments. My understanding is the plan is code compliant, and it's hard for us to be able to reject anything that's compliant with the codes. But I did hear a second issue here, and it's enforcement of prior conditions and other regulations that were part of the original master plans as they have evolved. That is separate than the topic at hand, and I would recommend that if these things are happening, you speak to the city representatives to enforce those things.
Thank you. Commissioner Payne or Vice Chair Payne?
I echo those comments as well. I think this is a tough decision, and there's certainly emotions on both sides of it. I am a little bit disappointed that there was no additional tree covering or something to help with the lights, but I recognize that that's separate of the lights themselves, and they are code compliant. So those are really my only comments.
Commissioner Crosley?
I did have one more clarification from Reagan Smith, if I could. And for codes, do we have a specific thing that says you can't go past 10 o'clock due to noise ordinance or something like that? Is there a application there?
Not as far as the use of the lights. We do have a noise ordinance, but it does treat schools a little different than normal residential lot.
Right. Along the same lines as the lighting, if the game goes a little bit longer, it's within a certain reason. I believe that's something to do with the noise level, too. For schools, it's a little different. And BA is a school, right? It's considered a school?
Yes,
absolutely.
SI1 zone,
Okay.
SI2 zoning.
All right. Just clarification. Thank you.
Commissioner Rand?
Yes, I think Commissioner Travis sort of made the point that I was maybe originally trying to make, which was there may be subsequent master plans and maybe some of these things in this 1994 series of conditions on which this approval was made that I feel like we don't have all the facts around right now. So I feel like we're being asked to vote on a lighting issue without even the subsequent master plans. I mean, I haven't reviewed those, so I feel like it's sort of inadequate to make a decision right now.
Commissioner Wiesner?
I think my first thought is I am disappointed not in anyone individually, but just that there weren't some more positive things that came out of the meeting with the residents, both the HOA and individuals. It's good for everybody to be a good neighbor, and clearly, the benefit falls on your side for this, because I assume you do have some responsibility for just keeping the berm up. I mean, I had just hoped there would be you could, help get rid of some fears just by talking, but evidently that's not quite what happened. I also feel like, okay, it's not totally clear, are these things that should have been enforced? And if so, how do they get enforced and that sort of thing? What is before us does in fact meet codes. And it is a school. That's a little different than a commercial entity in terms of what you can and can't do. It is a school. It's a, so I will just say, yes, I didn't expect to have such a difficult decision so early on in my career on the Planning Commission. But I appreciate everybody's comments, and I'll do my best. Yeah.
Commissioner Bertucci?
Well, I'm glad you had that second meeting, but I haven't heard too much positive or negative about it. What was your reaction? You were going to speak at one time. Could you speak now?
Sure, if you ask me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like you to speak.
You're allowed to respond.
With regards to the meeting yourself, what was the overall perspective of the meeting? You had, what, 80% agreeing with you or 20%?
Well, Bruce came and
Right.
Kent came, and it's difficult to agree. They don't want the lights, and we need the lights to have a baseball program. And the things that they are asking us to do, we're going to be good neighbors and turning the lights off when we can. And like he said, not having leagues and trying to, I have to pay money every time those lights go on. And they're very expensive. Let me tell you, our football games on Friday nights cost us in the thousands of dollars to put those lights on. I don't want those lights on any more than they do. So we're going to be good neighbors. We're going to turn the lights off when we can. We'd rather play in the daylight as well, but the kids don't get out at 2:30, they get out at 3:10. There's not enough time, and we're losing families or our school baseball fans because we don't have a solid baseball program that has the facilities that are needed to have a baseball program due to that time frame of daylight savings. So all of that was discussed. It wasn't angry at one another. We have a difference of opinion. We're trying to help the boys, and they're protecting their neighborhood. So I think we listened. I totally understood. I told Kent, I empathized with Kent about living back there and how hard that noise is all the time to hear the clank of the bats. But in the end, we just disagreed on what we're wanting. So I don't want the Planning Commission, to think we had a meeting where we were screaming at each other. I stood before the HOA and took every question the HOA had on the 23rd, and then those two came back. I waited on that meeting because there was lots of people who wanted to talk. I thought I could knock them all out with one big meeting, and many people spoke at that meeting, and then they had a follow-up they wanted. We gave them the follow-up. But I don't think the meeting, I didn't leave with animosity. I left with better understanding of the neighborhood. And as they left, I told Jason, let's be as good as we can to our neighbors about when the lights are on and off. So I appreciated the meeting and better understood, and I think helped me better understand what it's like to live back there.
Any more questions, Commissioner Bertucci?
No, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Stadnick?
Thank you very much for the information. Thank you for your concerns. I understand that that would be troublesome, but I also know that we have standards and codes, and the lighting meets the standards and codes. I appreciated the information about the density or the candles and the lighting and how it's way below our requirement near the residence border there. So that's all I have to say.
Commissioner Travis?
Can I say it? I built the baseball field one time at a school, middle school. Terrible, terrible. Don't ever do that. We brought in 54 railroad ties to build up the outfield, and then 6 dump trucks full of dirt. You know who has to spread that? The guy whose idea it was to build it. And so we built it, we moved it on. But one of the things I see, because I ran it was a softball program, but it's the same basic thing. One of the things, and all I can ask is your opinion here, but it's not going to be in writing, it's not in our codes, but one of the things, and I think it's been referred to, is that if you build it, they will come. Other teams will sneak in and do things. And to me, if you control the lights, okay, teams can sneak in at 4 o'clock when y'all aren't using it. But if you don't turn the lights on when your team's not there, they can't come at 7 o'clock, So what I'm hearing you say, you're going to control the lights. And by controlling the lights, you somewhat control the use of the field during darkness, not during the daytime. And again, running the program, there's people searching for baseball and softball fields all over. There's just not enough fields. I come from Memphis. Memphis is flat. We got baseball fields everywhere. We don't up here. So anyway, any comments about the lights and who controls that key and what goes on with that?
I'm going to bring Chad Gates, our assistant athletic director, and he can assure you, again, I don't want people on our campus. I'm liable when they're on my campus.
Yeah.
I'm paying for the lights when they're on. So Chad can speak to who's going to have control of the baseball coach and the athletic department.
How you doing? I'm Chad Legate, assistant AD. We've come a long way since 1994 with technology, okay? We're talking about the difference in our football lights that take 25 minutes to come on and these baseball Musco lights that take 3 seconds to come on. The people that are going to have control are the ADs and the baseball coaches, nobody else. And we're talking, you know, the month of March or month of February. That's, you know, really when we need those lights because of daylight savings time. You know, we start the first week of February with TSSAA rules. Okay, we're talking 45 minutes to an hour and a half. So our coaches are going to be the ones that have that opportunity to control the lights when they come on and come off. So I hope that answers your questions.
Thank you. Okay. I'd just like to say thank you to everybody. You know, it's good to see people here. It's good to have a good-natured discussion here in our city. People that care shows that people care about our city. So thank you guys. And with no more discussion from the commissioners, let's vote.
Can we ask a question, clarifying question to the city?
Sure.
Are we, I just feel like I need to know because Commissioner Travis mentioned other master site plans or adjustments to those site plans. This complies with all of the subsequent master site plans for this site subsequent to 1994?
This request complies with the code, and that's all you're having to compare it to. You don't have to compare it to any other master site plans because the site plan revision request is just that. It's a request to revise the site. So all it has to comply with is the code. That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
That's a good question.
All those for, please raise your hand. Any against? And it passes. So thank you. All right. Next item is the securities report. Yeah, if you guys want to leave, have a great night. We got about 5 more minutes of housekeeping, but
I'll see you guys in the World Series sometime.
You guys are the only planning committee, I can tell you that.
Todd. What? Once it calms down, you guys, securities report. Ready, what?
Got approval of the,
I don't have another item. Oh, the scheduled meetings. Oh, I jumped around. All right. Sorry about that. I got used to our normal meeting. I didn't look. Probably should wear glasses. Okay, the next item is the approval of our 2026 schedule of meetings. Does any commissioners have any changes? Everybody good? Motion, Commissioner Bain. Second by Commissioner Stadnick. All four?
Question, Michael.
Sir.
Didn't we talk something about moving that Monday, July 6th?
Yeah, I said something, but then I was like, I changed my mind. I think that's not, we don't need that. I mean, it's a Monday night. I mean, if you're going to miss Monday, you'll miss Tuesday. Right? If it were Monday morning, maybe. So, everybody good with this? All four? Any against? Okay. Now, securities report.
Yes, so before you is the monthly securities report for October. We had an increase of $266,110.01, and we ask that you approve the report as published in your packet.
Do I have a motion? Second. Moved, seconded. All those for? Aye. Any against? Securities report is approved. And board and commission reports. We'll start off with Commissioner Stadnick. EAB?
I just have a brief environmental board report. We have planted more milkweed seeds in the pollinator garden in Smith Park, hoping they come up. And we will be participating in weed wrangle on March 1st. So more to come.
Fun. Anything, Commissioner Bang?
From the Historic Commission, October 25th, we had a grave marking ceremony for the Revolutionary War soldier Thomas Bradley. It's out behind the library. It's a great presentation, and it's got a plaque there with it. So if you get a chance to be walking back there, take a look at that. And that's it until February. We've got our History Bowl coming up, so we'll have an exact date on that in the coming month.
Fun. Any other commission reports? If not, sorry, from the City Commission.
Just to let you know, I also scared myself because I think that clock over there says 9 o'clock almost, which I think is wrong. We haven't been here quite that long, so we need to tell Holly about that one. But the City Commission and the committee that we have established for our Veterans Memorial that we will be building, it'll be over by the police headquarters, between the police headquarters and the Heritage Living Community. We're going to have a celebration over there on Veterans Day. Veterans Day is the 11th month. It's celebrated on the 11th day of the month, and it's celebrated at the 11th hour, 11 o'clock. So at 11 o'clock on November the 11th, next to the police station, there'll be a ceremony honoring our veterans. And so we hope that everybody can attend. Especially the Planning Commission. We're going to be involved in approving this monument once we get going. They're also doing a little fundraising. They're going to ask you for money, so come on out.
So that's next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, 11/11/11.
11/11/11.
All right. With nothing else, call it 7:51. Thank you, guys.